What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the final weekly rewind of the 2022 season. I want to thank everybody out there for coming on this journey with us, especially my boy Jake, hanging with me all year, cranking out the rewinds.
Yeah,
We're
I had a good
here,
time.
yeah, we're here with Brandon, the
Heck
champ.
yeah.
Let's clap it up for Brandon.
Yep, yep.
Thank you.
I don't know how the
Good
mic's gonna
stuff.
pick that up, but hey,
Yeah, I
we'll see.
said the end of the last rewind. I said the end of the last rewind. I told Lane I'll be back.
You might have
Some may
both
say
said
it's Mickey Mouse, but
that.
it's true.
Now, all I'm seeing here, Shiz, is that on the the league homepage, it shows you having a silver trophy and Lane having the gold trophy. So, is it really a dub?
I don't know. I'm taking it.
Surprise guest. Welcome, Lane. Welcome to the show. Imagine he joined you.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Pain.
So, let's bounce into it, huh? We have, you know what? Let's do the third place game first. What was the third place game? It was Nick and Lemons. Yeah.
Yep.
So, Nick beat Lemons pretty handily. I mean, only by 8 for final score, but I mean, he had Gabe Davis go, who didn't end up playing. Everybody heard about that at this point, so uh, I guess that's just the way this matchup fell. I don't know. It would have been a little interesting if Nick would have been losing. I don't know what we would have done, honestly. But luckily, we didn't have to deal with that
Uh,
situation.
yep. Able to do it without Hopkins, without Jalen Hurts
Yeah,
in the lineup.
DJ Moore on the
Impressive
bench.
stuff.
DJ Moore had a great end of the season, 20,
Yeah, he did for
basically
sure.
20 points 3 weeks in a row. Playoffs. He's playoff champ, man. That's huge. Helped my dynasty team
25,
make it there.
25 points
True.
out of Nick's defense and kicker. It's massive.
Yeah, that is huge.
Basically took him home.
Yeah, I suppose. And Lemons had Mahomes do well, and that was kind of it. So, it is what it is. I mean, to be fair, Taysom Hill, I think he finishes like the tight end 2 or the tight end 3 on the year, honestly, which I hate, but
One huge week.
yeah, that's true. He had like the 50-point week against me, classic. Tyreek Hill was fine, 16 points, and everybody else was disappointing, really. I mean, Nick Folk, bad. Thielen, bad. Zeke, Saquon, bad. Juju, bad. Kansas City's defense was fine, but I mean, 9 points against Denver is meh. The bench was solid. Cam Akers had a decent game. Hollywood was fine. Oh, both the Saints tight ends had good games? That's funny. So, yeah, I don't know. Lemon's team, the wheels fell off at the end, it looks like. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. So congrats on third place, Nick. Yeah, everybody's prize money has been sent out at this point. So otherwise, I'd say it's in the mail. Let's get on to bigger and better things. Brandon versus Lane. Fantastic game, Shiz. Honestly,
Thank you.
I mean, Devonta Smith, very nice. Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, at the end of the first quarter, Devontae Smith and Waddle both had 0 points. At the end of they both got their first catches within the last minute of the first half, which was a little scary, but it was just nice to see the points rolling through. And then Devontae Smith got hot. Waddle was better than Wilson, who I had in there initially, so
Mm-hmm.
can't complain.
You started out with so did you have just Schultz on Thursday, or was there somebody else? I remember seeing you had a pretty solid lead going into the Saturday and Sunday games.
I had Schultz and he had Dak, which
Dak,
I
yep.
think that was,
There you go.
yeah. And all of
So Dak
Dak's
had a little bit less than his projection, but
Dak
Yeah.
stunk, man.
all
Schultz
his
did really
touchdowns
well.
going to Schultz was huge.
He brought that back with the game winners, at the end of the game. But Dak had a terrible first half. He had like less than 5 points at the end of the first half.
Yeah, a couple picks. I think he might have had a
Sacked
fumble.
a
I
few
don't really
times
remember.
too. Maybe. I
Might
don't
have been the
remember either.
sacks. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was disappointing. Everybody else on Lynn's team was really good or really bad. I
These
mean,
Jags. If you don't look at his
the
Jags.
Jags. If you don't look at the Jags, it was great.
True. Najee really turned it around after the start of the year. He started doing good toward the end.
Yeah. Wonder if that coincided with the quarterback change.
Swift had some
Quite
big
well.
plays.
Yeah. Yeah, Swift did have some big plays.
Godwin.
Yeah. Godwin had a good game. Mike Evans, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a great game is what happened there. Mike Evans had like 3 touchdowns, some like 200 something yards. Yeah. That felt good.
Yeah, Brady had like somewhere in the upper 400s for passing yards, I'm pretty sure, that game.
It's a shame
Not
nobody started him.
Oh, yeah.
Amon-Ra was fine. 10 points isn't what you want to see, especially when Detroit puts up 41 points. But also Detroit put up 41 points. Swift kind of stole it all, so it kind of bounces out.
See, I'm trying to think. If you guys are in Lane's shoes, do you still start Kirk over Ayuk? Or are you starting Ayuk? Because I know it's easy to say now, but if he starts Ayuk, I don't know how we would have solved this.
For me, it wouldn't have been as. I honestly, I want to say I would have started Ayuk, but I was really expecting the 49ers to just destroy the Raiders in that game with Stidham making it was his first career start, right? I think so. And the Raiders ended up putting up a game and making Ayuk have to be involved more. But it would have been like 50-50. I could see myself starting Ayuk there, honestly.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that boat too. Where I'm not sure. I think I would have started Kirk. Yeah, I think the process on Kirk was right, and even on Evan Ingram. The Jags put up 31 points. You hear that, you're like, okay, between Kirk and Ingram, they had at least 1 touchdown. That's what you think in your head, right? But when Houston puts up 3, they just run the ball the entire time. I don't remember who had all the touchdowns for Jacksonville in that game. It was a while ago.
I'm pretty sure ETN had a really long rush, I think. I think he had like a 60-yard touchdown. I could be wrong, but
yeah.
I don't remember how else they scored, but
I'll pull it up quick. What do we got? Freaking Jags, Texans stats. ETN, JaMychal Hasty, and Snoop Connor, 3 running backs, all had rushing touchdowns. So it is what it is, I guess, right?
Lane's Jags control their own destiny tonight, so I'm sure he's not too disappointed.
See, but as a Jags fan, I think he understands that might be the most dangerous thing that's ever happened.
True.
Yeah, I mean, are you excited about the Jaguars controlling their own destiny?
I call them the Lions of the AFC.
Yeah, it's it's not a terrible comp. Have the Jags really ever been good?
They
went to the AFC Championship that one year.
2017, I think that might have been 2018. They lost to Brady, I'm pretty sure.
Never been to a Super Bowl.
Besides that,
they've had good players. I don't know, not quite as good as Lions players probably, but hey, Blake Bortles is a legend. He's their Matt Stafford. Yeah, so
Leonard Fournette was beast back then.
Yeah, Mojo Drew would have been Lane's guy. If he was here, he'd be chatting up Mojo Drew.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the reason Lane's a Jags fan. I'm gonna speak for him a little bit. Mojo Drew was Lane's guy back in this league, back in like 2010, 2011, 2012. He had Mojo Drew in all those leagues, and he got himself a jersey, became a Jags fan. I don't know what happened first between Mojo or the Jags, but I do know that he loves them both. So Davante Adams saved your ass, Shiz, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, he went crazy that game.
Yes, he did.
And Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz saved your ass, too. If Dak doesn't throw both of his touchdowns to Dalton Schultz, you're dead.
Yeah. Well, on Thursday, you and I were at dinner.
Yeah, we were at pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, with like the whole family, and Brian was playing against Dak. I had Dalton Schultz. We were both playing against Dak, but
yeah,
it was fun seeing Dalton Schultz get touchdowns. That was crazy.
Bryant was talking sauce about Dak at the half, so I had to turn on the Cowboys game, and I willed him to like 18 or 20 points.
I should have kept my mouth shut.
He looked way better in the second half.
It didn't even matter, Jake. When I saw Mike Evans had 50 points in our Dynasty League, I was busting in my pants. And next thing you know...
And then the 3 o'clock or the 3:30 games, I had 3 guys that all popped off. That was just...
Eckler, McCaffrey.
I know that's a different league, but who did win that matchup? I just want to know. I actually never heard. Was it Jake?
I ended up winning that one with... So I was
handily.
up 60 something, but Josh Allen was left, so
Um,
there's I guess a really small chance
I
that
think
he
you're
could
up.
have done it, but
I think you might
maybe
have been
more
up
than that.
70. If I'm gonna be honest.
It was Christian McCaffrey, Eckler, and Devontae that all popped off
Yeah,
at the
oh
3:30
yeah.
in the 3:30 games all at the same time,
which
and
is a
that's all
shame
good.
because the noon games I had DJ Moore and Mike Evans who both popped off, so I was feeling real good.
Yeah, they were. Oh my god,
Jake's team was just too much, man. But
it
anyways,
was.
so
We'll
yeah,
get
I
back
mean,
to this.
pretty good start sit decisions. I mean, Cooper on your bench is tough, but like you said earlier, he only had 3 catches. So are you?
And I honestly wasn't even debating him. It was just Wilson Waddle for me.
Yeah, and Cordell Patterson gave you a championship game gift, 20 points.
Yeah, he's been so inconsistent. He started the year pretty nice.
So inconsistent.
Then he came back from injury. He had a good week. Then he was shit. Then he had okay weeks. Then he was shit. Like, yeah,
He was good in
Yeah, there's-
games that they were competitive.
he's not a
I
fun
don't
guy.
think there's. I don't think there's any way I would have started Cooper in this one, so I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But as a Packers fan, we needed that really bad. The fact that the Commanders weren't able to win that
True.
game
Yeah.
is crazy.
Dalvin Cook. I hate owning Dalvin Cook. I don't know why.
Dude, the
is just
Vikings,
biggest-
man. It's the Vikings. You
Dude
can't blame
loves to
Dalvin
bust.
because the Vikings went
Pause.
down like 20. Oh, what was the score before they finally got points?
It was 41-3 at one point.
It was ridiculous, right? I mean,
Yeah.
what do you do when you're not running the ball, right? It's tough to blame Dalvin,
Yeah.
but I agree. It's frustrating having a running back on a team that can get blown out like that. It's just the
Yeah.
Vikings defense stinks.
But I do want to give a shout out to Lane for not giving me this win, but so I think I was down 8 with Josh and Nixon.
Yeah,
I think they had scored like
It was
4
yeah,
points
3 or 4
or something before. Yeah, 3 or 4 before the game got called. But I mean, I would have been salty if we would have just gave Lane the win. I wouldn't have minded working something out. But
Good guy Lane there.
shout out to Lane. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what was probably going to happen was the pot was going to get split, but then Lane said, I was taking this L. So Lane graciously
Right.
understood his place. Yeah, kudos to Lane on that one for sure. And hey, second place ain't bad. So,
True.
I mean, that was
That's the kind of
championship
karma you
game,
need
man.
for a championship next year. We'll say that.
Oh, big karma guy, Lane. Oh no, you know what it is, Jake? It's karma for the Jags making a playoff run.
Oh,
Oh,
Word
yeah,
on the
cash
street
that in
is-
right. Honestly, cash that in right now. Why not?
yeah, I'm making a bet right now.
Word on the street is Lane's going to be reaching for Trevor Lawrence in the draft next year. That's all I've heard.
I'm pretty sure that's been broadcast
Ooh.
on billboards. No way does he not, right? After, how mad do you think he is that Greg stole
Held him hostage.
Trevor and held? Yeah, well, the thing is, Greg was trying to trade him to Lane all season, but Lane was like, "Nah, fuck you," because he knew that Greg just drafted him to make Lane mad. So, interesting. But I mean, that does it for the matchups. We have the record books to go over yet, and so the record books that I have are the same record book style as last season for now. Jake, I'm still working on the really big spreadsheet. It's taking a lot longer than I anticipated it to take. But yeah, basically for those that don't know, I'm going to be redoing the record book shortly. I've been working on it for the past week or so, and I'm going to be putting it in like an Excel format kind of thing. And so everybody's going to have like their own personal page. It's going to have everybody that's ever been in the league. It's going to have a whole bunch of stuff. You can filter and sort and do all this fun stuff. But Yahoo is frustratingly evil and doesn't really give data. They don't make their data available very easily, so I kind of have to basically just copy paste every matchup into Excel, and I have formulas to kind of parse that text and sort it into a usable way. So it's taking forever to copy paste every matchup and make sure everything looks good. So when it's done, I will make sure that everybody's aware of the record book. I'll put it in the group chat or something, and everybody can play around with it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how that turns out. And
It's gonna be
I'll
cool.
I'll put a due date of let's go with August 2023.
Oh yeah, it'll be done by then. Yeah.
As long as it's done before the next draft.
Absolutely. It'll probably be done in like a month. I'm hoping I can just kind of crank it out, do like a season every day or two, and have a good time. So, anywho, for now we've got this bad boy, right? So, oh here, let me quick stream so you guys can see this. You can follow along with the video. There, okay. In the head-to-head matchups, all the head-to-head stats. This is basically from Yahoo. I pulled the ones that were interesting and people actually care about. But the team with the most wins this season was Nick B. Was it Nick B?
Or honestly, I thought it was.
Was it
I thought
tied?
Lemons was the 1 seed. We could have been tied.
Is Yahoo fucking me? Oh, it's counting playoff wins.
Gotcha.
Well, that should have been. Oh, because Lemons was the 1 seed. He had a bye. It's counting playoff wins. So yeah, Nick technically gets that this year. 12 wins. Congrats. The longest streak. Nick and Michael both held that one. They had 6 wins a pop. All time, Laner 2017, 14 wins. It's kind of disgusting actually. And the longest streak was Lane the next year in 2018 with 11 wins in a row. Lane dominated. That was the Antonio Brown era for Lane.
Antonio Brown, Le'Veon, and Todd Gurley.
Yeah,
Those
that's
were the
what it
keepers.
was. Yeah,
I remember those well.
That was disgusting. Largest margin of victory this year was Cade slapping Greg's bitch ass around by over 100 points in week 5. On average, this is hilarious. On average, Greg had the highest margin of victory this season with 46.7 points because the way the Yahoo does
this. Cade? Is it because he played Cade?
No. Greg, his so how Yahoo does the calculations is it only considers your wins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it is because of his matchup with Cade. Yes, yeah, from this past week. Yep, because Greg has 2 wins on the year. One was whatever, like week 10 or something like that.
Was that versus somebody on the pod?
He won by like 10 or 15 points.
Yeah.
Brandon's off the quiet. He won the league. Doesn't matter.
Let me pull this up. Greg. So he won against Brandon by like 15 points. But then in the last week of the regular season, he beat Cade by like 100 points. So it turns out that Greg had the average highest margin of victory. I think that's hilarious.
What's funny is I quick looked back at the draft grades, and Greg had the highest grade, I'm pretty sure.
I loved Greg's draft.
And Nick B had the lowest grade. Fun fact.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
All time, Lane beat Trent by almost 200 points in week 14 of 2013.
How does that happen?
I'm guessing Trent never set his lineup in that matchup.
Was it an 8-team league back then?
2013.
Or no?
It might have been. It started off 10, it dropped down to 8 at one point.
I'm just guessing.
Schedule. No, it was 10. Laner beat Trent. What was it? Week 14.
Randomness.
Yeah, Trent had 7 points. That's how. Because he didn't set his lineup.
Okay.
So my spreadsheet that I'm making is going to exclude those games. You know, it's basically going to take out games that, for these types of records, it'll take out games that people had more than one player not projected for any points, so that we can kind of get a legit record. But for now, that's the one. And Lemons had an average of like 65 point wins. He had a very bad year and played, I think he had like 3 wins. So it was a similar to Greg thing, except his wins were actually pretty boom. Smallest margin of victory this year, George beat Lane in week 16 by 0.64, which is hilarious. And then Brandon, you had the average smallest margin of victory this season, 21 points. Fraud.
That's tight.
All time, George versus Nick B had 0.06, which I don't know if that's ever going to get beaten, honestly. That is so small.
I do remember that game.
Yeah, that is nothing. And then Josh Schultz on average had 1 in one season, like 1.08 small margin of victory. And I looked, Josh had 1 win on that season, and it was by like a point. But I did look through, and he tried all year long. He was just bad.
So is it 1 point per 25 passing yards? Is that right?
Yeah.
So that means that it's like
0.04 is
1.5
passing yard. Yeah.
passing yards.
Yep. Exactly.
Nice.
So.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that one's gonna be tough to beat. Hardest strength of schedule this season was Brandon.
Hey, he called me a fraud. He just said fraud.
And the easiest, if it surprises you, was Nick B. All-time, actually, Brandon, your strength of schedule this year is technically the all-time leader. You broke that. See, I put an asterisk next to it for a good reason. I think Yahoo fucked it up. I don't think this is actually true. I went through, so I did the math on your strength of schedule in the regular season, like 130 something, and then in the playoff, or no, in the regular season it was like 144, but in the playoffs, which it includes, I believe, it was like 130 something. And then I looked, and the value that it had for the hardest strength of schedule was the same as Nick B's from the previous year. Like it was from like 2012 or something like that, but it had your name on there, and I think Yahoo just kind of fucked it up. So my new book will make sure that this is right. But for now, you have it. Congrats.
Yeah.
And he won. Jeez.
Yeah, and you won. Yeah, that's
Barely
impressive.
scraped
Actually,
into the playoffs, though. To be fair.
True. The easiest strength schedule of all time is yours truly, 108, 2013. Let's go. I don't even think I won that year. 2013. Yeah, I finished 7-7. Oh boy. The team points section. Most team points this year. Lane put up 200 in week 2. It was funny though, because I don't have fewest team points in this because it would just be like 0 for all time in Yahoo because some people just didn't set their lineup early on in the history of the league. But Lane would definitely hold that as well if it was legit fewest points of the season, because he had like 60 something this year. It's like 65.
It might have even been.
I thought it
65.
was.
I thought it was like 40s. Honestly.
I thought it was 40s.
Oh
Yeah,
shit! Was it
thought
really
was
that
40s
low?
too.
Let me
I'm
look.
gonna
real
look.
quick.
I don't know why,
It was
but
game 2 got
40
knocked
sounds
out.
familiar.
the
It
first
was
time.
43.2.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know if that's ever gonna get broken. I don't even think it's possible to
I think that
get
was,
lower than that
And
and
then
start a
he
team.
almost wins the championship.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
the Tua
highest
first
and lowest, man.
injury week.
Yeah, that was when he got concussed.
Mm-hmm.
So on average, it was George with 137. All time, Hoffman against Josh in week 14 or in 2014 put up 250. That's impressive. And Jake, you hold the all time in 2018. That magical 2018 season,
Let's go. I started out hot when I joined the league,
averaging
remember that,
168 per week.
Jesus.
but that was nasty.
Yeah. So, most kicking. I like putting kicking and defensive points in here. Yahoo has them all, but I find kicking and defense to be most interesting because they're mostly luck. At least kicking is. So this season, Greg had the most kicking points in a single week against Lane, 23 points. Cade had the highest average, which is kind of funny because Cade's team stunk. All time, Nick had 25 in 2012. And I had the season average highest of all time in 2017 with average of 12 per game. Pretty
And
good.
what we learned this year was that most of the time the highest ranked kicker was unrostered.
Yeah, because kicking is luck. The fewest kicking points, though. Lemons ended up breaking a record this year against Lane in week 16 with -6. I believe that was Nick Folk.
Yep.
On average, Greg had the fewest this year, and historically, Lemons averaged 4.92 in 2018. I haven't checked to see if that's because he didn't start a kicker or what, but that is incredibly low. Most defensive points in a single week. Brandon, you took the L on this one. Lemons put up 33 on you in week 13.
Remember that.
Lane had the highest average, 171 total, averaged a little over 10 per week. Nick, all time in a single week, had 41 points in 2012. That's incredible.
Oh my God.
And Nick B.
I want to
with
know
the
what defense that was.
all-time defensive points and all-time kicker points. It's Mickey Mouse. Nick B. has been a
In
long
Different
thing.
years too, right?
Special
Yeah,
teams.
this has been he's a special teams expert. This is a recurring thing.
Versace.
What week did I say that was? It's week 14 of 2012.
If
Let's take a peek.
If I was forced to guess, I would have guessed whoever had the Patriots defense that one year.
That's
That was
would've been my guess.
yeah, that was like 2017, 2018. Might have been 2019. Seattle's defense against Arizona won 58-0. They had 2 touchdowns, 4 fumble recoveries, and it allowed no points.
Jeez. Who would have been QB for Arizona those days? I don't even want to know.
In what year is this? 2013. This is like
Post Kurt Warner days.
Yeah.
Even pre Josh Rosen.
You might say. It was John Skelton and Ryan Lindsley.
John Skelton.
Their starter must have been
Man.
hurt. Crazy.
Unfortunate.
So that's incredible. All-time average, Jake, was you in that magical 2019 season with the Patriots defense, I would imagine. 17 points average, which is ridiculous. Most points from draft players. Lane against Brandon in week 2 had 186 from players he strictly drafted. Preston averaged highest in the season, which I feel like makes you a little bit of a fraud because that just means you didn't make transactions, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
All-time Preston versus Jake.
Oh, shit.
A couple years ago, he had 212 in week 2. And Laner in 2018, season average of a little under 150, which is pretty freaking high. Team stats, most touchdowns this season. George versus Cade in week 9 had 12 touchdowns in a single week. The season average highest was Lemons, having almost 6 touchdowns per game. That's pretty good. All time, Jake, you hold the record against Cade.
2018.
Yeah, in 2018, that same magical season, 14 touchdowns in a single week.
Bring me back.
Yeah.
That was what was it? Saquon, McCaffrey, and Hopkins, I think, were my keepers. That was a fun year.
I disliked every second of that year. That was the was that Vontae? Oh, you had the perfect name.
Oh, was it Far From Perfect?
Far From Perfect. That's what it was.
But then they had, yeah. remember
Lane holds the average all time of about 7.5 per game, which is significantly higher than Lemons. That was that same year of your magical year, so that's actually kind of crazy. Most passing yards in a single week. Preston put up 481 in a single week against George. On the season average, Lemons had over 300, which is cool. Hoffy in week 1 of 2011 had 517 passing yards on me. That's ridiculous. 2011, dude.
Was that Rodgers?
I don't think he had Rodgers in 2011. Maybe.
Might have been Brady. That smells like Brady.
It kind of smells like Peyton Manning to me.
I was thinking maybe Peyton.
Mm.
But when Rodgers? Oh,
What did I say? Week
I was
1?
going to say when Rodgers played the Bears. What week was that? When Rodgers had 6 first half touchdowns.
Yeah, but he didn't play the second half though.
I know Wes Welker has an NFL record tied for
it is
99
Brady.
Touchdown.
Good call.
Wow.
Only had
Maybe that was the
36
99
points.
yard. That could have been the 99-yard touchdown.
How many touchdowns did you say there? 4.
4 passing touchdowns, 1 pick,
Okay.
517 passing yards. I believe that this was pre-performance bonuses for busting 300 yards for quarterbacks. So, there you have it. Dang, I had a decent week too. It is what it is. All-time average, Laner had 344 per game in 2013. That's juiced.
Damn.
Most rushing yards in a single week this year was Greg, 425 rushing yards. On average, George averaged almost 200 per game. Pretty sure George started 3 running backs pretty much all year long because he had.
That might have been the Fields game. Did he have Fields?
What season was that?
Greg had Fields.
That could have been a.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
That
right.
probably was.
That's gotta be right.
Yep. Absolutely. George started 3 running backs pretty much all year, so it kind of makes sense that he tops this average, right? Because he had Josh Jacobs, Ramondre, and somebody else. I don't remember who the other one was. Oh, he was going back and forth between those Tampa running backs most of the year. All time, I hold both of these in a single week, 470, and on the
Jeez.
season average, 283. Those were the
Who was on your team that year?
Arian
Or
Foster.
is that the one you
baby.
just showed up?
No.
Oh,
Well,
Arian
actually, it
Foster.
is that year, isn't it? 2011? Let me make sure. Yeah, 2011. Arian Foster, Shady McCoy, C.J. Spiller,
Jeez.
Cedric Benson. Yeah, the Arian Foster years were excellent for my team.
What a guy. Rookie Arian Foster was a tank.
Yeah. Yes, he was.
And then maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but did he retire mid-season or was it like training camp? Because I remember drafting him one year, and I think he retired mid-season.
Yeah. Didn't he get hurt or something? Did he tear his Achilles?
Was
It's been a long time.
I don't know why, but I'm thinking, is it Miami?
Yeah,
Is that where he went to?
He retired early.
Games. He played 4 games with Miami and then retired.
That's what it was, yep.
Dang.
Pain.
Last one. Most receiving yards in a single week. Coffee had 515 in week 8 against Lane. That's a lot of receiving yards. And on average, Nick averaged 310 per game. That's also very high. Whoa, that's really high.
This year?
Nick B. Sorry, Nick B.
I was gonna say.
This is Nick B. 300 that's DeAndre Hopkins. And who else does he have on his team this season?
Nick B.
Yeah.
I should know this. I mean, does he have McCaffrey?
Jerry Jeudy.
Could have had.
Oh yeah, McCaffrey. A lot of receiving yards there. Travis Kelce.
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 Yeah, Kelce McCaffrey helps, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
Fair enough. All time, Hoffman this time versus Carter Bell in 2013.
That
had
is ridiculous.
607 in a single game. And Jake, you hold the all time in 2018.
Can you pull up that 28? I need to see that 2018 team again, honestly.
Yeah, I can pull up that.
I need to see it.
Team. That team was gross.
Did you win the league?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, I just saw.
Yeah.
Far from perfect.
Drew Brees, Tyreek, Nuke, McCaffrey, Zach Ertz, Damian Williams.
My balls
Odell on the bench.
I didn't remember having Tyreek Hill that year, honestly, but that makes sense. Well,
That's a good Tyreek Hill year. That was a boom bust here a little bit. So, this was the dream team that carried you to the promised lands. Mostly Christian McCaffrey. Wasn't that the year he just became the guy?
I guess so. I thought
yes,
I had
it was.
Saquon this year, but was Saquon a rookie in 2019 then? I thought I had Saquon, maybe not.
Were you the first one to draft Saquon? Didn't you trade for Saquon?
I wonder if I traded away Saquon and it's not showing up on my roster. I don't remember.
Can look to see if Saquon was
I can look otherwise later, but I know at one point I traded him away.
I don't see. Oh yeah, Saquon.
To George.
To Saquon's squad. You must have traded for him after this year.
Or Preston.
That
I
must
gotta
be
look
Preston.
back at that.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's Preston.
I think I traded for him from Preston. That might have been it.
Yeah, that's Preston. You traded for him for Preston.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That was his rookie year, though, yes. And it was a very good rookie year. Holy shit.
Yeah, he had a really good rookie year.
So, yeah. Anyways, that that does it for the record book. There were a couple new records this year. There was Brandon, you have one for now. Lemon's got one. Probably a not top 10 record, but it is what it is. And was that it? Just those two? Looks like
So
it. Oh, yep, no, that's that Lemon's one. I don't see any
well,
other...
Lane's gonna have one with the probably with the least scoring week or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Now I'll be able to actually do that in the new, because that's the reason I didn't want to do that on here, is because it doesn't filter on. I would call them legit games, especially back in the day. There were a lot. I mean, we were in like middle school.
If someone is if someone's extremely stacked next year, the best way to not be in the record book for getting blown out is to bench one player. That's all I'm hearing.
It'll be actually, Jake, it's gonna be more than one, and that is against league rules, Jake Jorgensen. We will not promote this, but no, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna make the threshold probably 2 players.
Yeah,
because some people just kind of miss that one game kind of decision, and I feel like that shouldn't count.
You can get blown out because you made a bad managerial mistake of actually leaving like an injured quarterback in or something like that.
I think that's legit, but I think if there's more than one, that just means you didn't check your lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna do it based off projected points, and that's how it'll be done. But yeah, it's I've been working on it, man. It's going.
Cool.
I'm at let's see how many, over 3,000 rows.
Jeez.
And I'm like in 2012, I think. So, yeah, it's a lot. But I'd like to thank everybody for another fantastic year of fantasy football. Congratulations once again to Brandon on the dub. Lane 2nd place and Nick B 3rd.
Thanks to the commissioner too. Appreciate it. Another good year.
Anytime, my buddy Jake. Usually you're the one winning my leagues, so I'm sure you love me commissioning, Jake, huh?
Yeah, just kind of sit back. No.
Dynasty,
I like
Dynasty
doing the pod this year too. Maybe we'll have to run it back next year. I'd be down.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Maybe I'll.
Yeah, this is very.
Get some more guests
much more
in.
enjoyable from a fan's perspective of the pod. It was, although I've been on it a couple times, it was much more fun than, not that the old rewinds.
Yeah,
were
the
bad or
Google
anything,
Docs.
but it's nice being able, just hearing people talk about it is better than just reading.
Sure.
It's nice.
Absolutely. So maybe next year I'll get some buttons or something. Some little audio clips.
A soundboard?
Yeah, a little soundboard.
Ooh.
That'd be kind of cool. I'll have to look into that. So, anyways, thanks again, everybody, for a fantastic year. We'll run it back next year, same as always. And maybe some of you other guys can make the record book next season. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Adios.
guys.
I'll be defending my title.
Huh?